welcome to my Rioja masterclass. I'm Claire Fleming from the website fromthegrapevine.uk, and today we're heading to Spain to take a closer look at their most famous wine region, Rioja. Now, June the 9th is the day of La Rioja. It's an annual holiday in the region which commemorates the anniversary of when the Autonomous Community Statute was approved back in 1982. So everybody's got the day off school, the day off work, they take part in events and contests, communal meals, and I dare say a little bit of wine tasting too. So taking a look at the geography of the region, La Rioja is inland from the northern coast, but it's got 7 rivers running through the area, and that regulates the temperatures of the hot climate there. The region itself is split into 3 different wine areas, but generally the wines that are labelled as Rioja can take grapes from any of those 3 areas. So, as for the wines, the vast majority, around 90%, are made from red grapes, and the dominant grapes for red wine are Tempranillo and Garnacha. That's the Spanish word for Grenache. A few other local grape varieties are permitted as well. Now, just under 10% of the wines are white wines, and Viura is by far the most common grape for the white Riojas. But again, a few other local variety of grape are permitted to use to a lesser extent. Now, the way Rioja wines are separated out are by their aging. There's 4 different styles, and to help you identify them, there's a colour coding on the back of the bottle. So we'll start with the youngest wines. These may say joven on the bottle, and that's the Spanish word for young, but what they will have is a green square on the back, like that. So these are base entry wines. They have no requirement for any aging, and they'll taste pretty fruity, but not very complex. This one happens to be white, but you'll get plenty of red Riojas of this class and price range in the supermarkets. Now, 90% of the Riojas are red, so the following information I'm about to give about aging only applies to the red Rioja wines. The next level up is Crianza. It should say so on the label, but it will have a cherry red square on the back, like that. And to qualify as a Crianza wine, it must have had a year in an oak barrel, and that gives a touch of complexity to the wine and some of those nice flavours of cherry and a bit of cedar with distinctive smokiness to it. Now, it's a bit of better quality than these young joven wines, but with a more accessible price tag. Then we start getting serious and we go up to the Reserva wines. Now, on the back of a Reserva wine, the square is burgundy red coloured, and the producers will only use the grapes from the very best vintages for these and from years that have been good. Now, these wines have been aged for at least 3 years, and one of those years has to be in oak barrels. So, to the poshest of the Riojas, the Gran Reserva. Now, the square on the back of a Gran Reserva is navy blue. Let's see. And like the Reserva wines, these are from the best grapes of the best vintages and aged for even longer. The legal requirement of a Gran Reserva is to have at least 5 years of aging, and of those, at least 2 must be in oak and 3 in the bottle. And that doesn't mean to say all Gran Reservas are going to be 5 years old. They're only released when they're ready. So this one, for example, is a 2013, meaning it's 7 years old. Now, the aging process changes the taste and the colour of the wines. With the age, those fruit flavours will start to mellow down, making way for more oakiness to come through, and you'll get increasing amounts of sort of dusty tobacco flavours. Now, the longer the wine has aged, the more expensive the bottle's going to be. So in the supermarkets, these entry-level young wines are going to be around the £5 mark. The Crianzas, they're going to start anywhere from about £7 to £10. With the Reserva wines, you can expect to pay upwards of £10, but you can look out for some supermarket offers at various times of the years. And you will find Gran Reservas in the supermarkets, usually the bigger commercial brands, and these are going to range from £10 to £20, but there's really no upper limit at all if you want to go and buy online or from an independent wine shop, and that'll be from those smaller producers that have aged their wines from the really special years. Now, in terms of pairing wine and food with a Rioja, just simply think Spain. With these red Rioja wines, you can have chorizo, steak, manchego cheese, all those Spanish flavours will go really well with the smokiness of the Rioja. And for these nice young whites, well, it's a fresh and summery wine, so you can pair those nicely with some grilled fish, maybe some garlic prawns or some squid. So that's my whistle-stop tour of supermarket Rioja wines. I hope you'll join me soon for my next video. And in the meantime, you can take a look at the blog at www.fromthegrapevine.uk. Cheerio.